What Do You Really Know? By Nicole Terry. The IRS is not a U.S. government agency, it is an agency of the IMF, Diversified Metal Products v. IRS et al. CV 93 405 EEJE USDCDI, Public Law 94-564, Senate Report 94-1148 PG. 5967, Reorganization Plan No. 26, Public Law 102-391. The IMF is an agency of the UN, Black's Law Dictionary 6th ed. pg. 816. The U.S. has not had a treasury since 1921. 41 Stat. ch.214 pg. 654. The U.S. Treasury is now the IMF, Presidential Documents Volume 29 No. 4 pg. 113, 22 U.S.C. 285,288. The United States does not have any employees because there is no longer a United States. After over 200 years of operating under bankruptcy, it's finally over. No more reorganizations. Executive Order 12803. Do not personate one of the creditors or shareholders or you will go to prison. 18 U.S.C. 914. The FCC, CIA, FBI, NASA, and all of the other alphabet gangs were never part of the United States government, although the U.S. government held shares of stock in the various agencies. U.S. v. Strang, 254 U.S. 491, Lewis v. U.S. 680 F2D, 1239. Social Security numbers are issued by the UN through the IMF. The application for a Social Security number is the SS5 form. The Department of the Treasury (IMF) issues the SS5, not the Social Security Administration. The new SS5 forms do not state who or what publishes them. The earlier SS5 forms state that they are Department of the Treasury forms. You can get a copy of the SS5 you filled out by sending Form SSAL 996 to the SS Administration, 20 CFR Chapter 111, Subpart B 422.103 B 2 read the cites above. There are no judicial courts in America and there has not been any since 1789. Judges do not enforce statutes and codes. Executive administrators enforce statutes and codes. FRCV. GE 281 U.S. 464, Keller v. PE 261 U.S. 428, 1 Stat. 138-178. There have not been any judges in America since 1789. There have just been administrators. FRCV. GE 281 U.S. 464, Keller v. PE 261 U.S. 428 1 Stat. 138-178 10. According to the GATT you must have a Social Security number. House Report 103-826. We have one world government, one world law and a one world monetary system. The UN is a one world super government. No one on this planet has ever been free. This entire planet is nothing more than a slave colony. There has always been a one-world government. It is just that now it is much better organized and has changed its name as of 1945 to the United Nations. New York City is defined in the federal regulations as the United Nations. Rudolph Giuliani stated on C-SPAN that New York City was the capital of the world, and he was correct. 20 CFR Chapter 111, Subpart B 422.103 B 2. Social Security is not insurance or a contract, nor is there a trust fund. Helvering v. Davis 301 U.S. 619, Steward Co. v. Davis 301 U.S. 548. Your Social Security check comes directly from the IMF, which is an agency of the UN. Look at it if you receive one. It should have written on the top left United States Treasury. You own no property, slaves can't own property. Read the deed to the property that you think is yours. You are listed as a tenant. Senate Document 43, 73rd Congress First Session. The most powerful court in America is not the United States Supreme Court but the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, 42 Pascals, CSA. 502. The Revolutionary War was a fraud. See 22, 23 and 24 20. The King of England financially backed both sides of the Revolutionary War. Treaty at Versailles, July 16, 1782, Treaty of Peace 8 Stat 80. You cannot use the Constitution to defend yourself because you are not a party to it. Paddleford, Fay, and Co. v. The Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Savannah 14 Georgia 438, 520. America is a British colony, the United States is a corporation, not a land mass, and it existed before the Revolutionary War and the British troops did not leave until 1796, Respublica v. Swears 1 Dallas 43, Treaty of Commerce 8 Stat 116, the Society for Propagating the Gospel, and c. v. New Haven 8 Wheat 464, Treaty of Peace 8 Stat 80, IRS Publication 6209, Articles of Association October 20, 1774. Britain is owned by the Vatican, Treaty of 1213. The Pope can abolish any law in the United States. Elements of Ecclesiastical Law Volume 1 5354. A 1040 form is for tribute paid to Britain, IRS Publication 6209. The Pope claims to own the entire planet through the laws of conquest and discovery, Papal Bulls of 1455 and 1493. The Pope has ordered the genocide and enslavement of millions of people, Papal Bulls of 1455 and 1493. The Pope's laws are obligatory on everyone. Bend. 14, de Sin. Dioec, lib. Ix, c. v. n. 4. Prati, 1844, Syllabus, Prop 28, 29, 44. We are slaves and own absolutely nothing, not even what we think are our children. Tillman v. Roberts 108 So. 62, Van Coten v. Van Coten 154 NE 146, Senate Document 43 and 73rd Congress First Session, Weinhammer v. People 13 NY. Rep 378, 481. Military dictator George Washington divided the states estates into districts, messages and papers of the President's Vo 1, pg. 99. Webster's 1828 Dictionary for Definition of a State. The people does not include you and me. Barron v. Mayor and City Council of Baltimore. 32 U.S. 243. The United States government was not founded upon Christianity. Treaty of Tripoli 8 Stat 154. It is not the duty of the police to protect you. Their job is to protect the corporation and arrest code breakers. Sapp v. Tallahassee, 348 So. 2nd. 363, Rife v. City of Philadelphia, 477 F. Sup. 1262, Lynch v. NC Department of Justice 376 SE 2nd. 247. Everything in the United States is for sale: roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, water, prisons, airports, etc. I wonder who bought Klamath Lake. Did anyone take the time to check? Executive Order 12803. We are human capital. Executive Order 13037. The UN has financed the operations of the United States government for over 50 years and now owns every man, woman and child in America. The UN also holds all of the land in America in fee simple. The good news is we don't have to fulfill our fictitious obligations. You can discharge a fictitious obligation with another's fictitious obligation. The Depression and World War II were a total farce. The United States and various other companies were making loans to others all over the world during the Depression. The building of Germany's infrastructure in the 1930s, including the railroads, was financed by the United States. That way those who call themselves kings, prime ministers, and Führer, etc. could sit back and play a game of chess using real people. Think of all of the Americans, Germans, etc. who gave their lives thinking they were defending their countries which didn't even exist. The millions of innocent people who died for nothing. Isn't it obvious why Switzerland is never involved in these fiascos? That is where the Bank of International Settlements is located. Wars are manufactured to keep your eye off the ball. You have to have an enemy to keep the illusion of government in place. The United States did not declare independence from Great Britain or King George. The documents listed, plus hundreds more and numerous essays explaining what has happened to this world, are available on discs for free. The documents are not secret. They are all on the public record. All of the cases and documents listed are on the discs so you can see them for yourself. Just contact me, Nicole Terry, and I will be glad to send them to you. Guess who owns the UN? The discs have many more sites including hundreds of documents to verify the 40 statements above and numerous other facts. The discs also include numerous essays written by Stephen Ames and several other people that fully explain the 40 above mentioned facts. The discs will clear up any confusion and answer any questions that you may have. The sites listed above are only the tip of the iceberg. Also included on the discs are several hundred legal definitions because without them it is next to impossible for the non-lawyer to understand many of the documents. Simple words such as person, citizen, people, or nation, crime, charge, right, statute, preferred, prefer, constitutor, creditor, debtor, debit, discharge, payment, law, United States, etc., do not mean what most of us think because we were never taught the legal definitions, terms, of the preceding words. The illusion is much larger than what is cited above. There is no use in asking an attorney about any of the above because his first duty is to the courts, not to the client. US v. Franks DCNJ 53 F. 2D 128. Clients are also called wards of the court in regard to their relationship with their attorneys. Spilker v. Hansen 158 F. 2D 35, 58 US App. DC 206. Wards of court. Infants and persons of unsound mind. Davis Committee v. Lonnie, 290 Kentucky. 644, 162 SW2D 189, 190. Did you get that? An attorney's first duty is not to you, and when you have an attorney you are either considered insane or an infant. By Nicole Terry Ph. 717-497-5231. Email, nicole@boxemail.com. What would the people do if they knew that they had been lied to by the government their entire lives?